Jazz Revolution is an online specialty retailer of jazz music and collectibles. With an extensive catalog, including thousands of songs digitized from original recordings, Jazz Revolution is the premier destination site for jazz aficionados around the world. In recent years, competition from mainstream music sites has forced Jazz Revolution to innovate faster and further in order to maintain and grow its customer base. To accelerate the pace of innovation, the development organization has adopted agile practices and the rational solution for collaborative software delivery. This foundation allows Jazz Revolution to provide services that are better aligned with what customers want in less time than their competitors. As the VP of Development for Jazz Revolution, Carrie Doyle's mission is to drive continuous innovation through software delivery. Carrie peruses her executive dashboard to see how well various projects are tracking toward expected targets for schedule, cost, quality, customer confidence, and risk. Gone are the days of manually collecting status information. With the rational solution, Carrie's able to get a real-time view of team progress and performance without interrupting the team. Carrie's especially interested in the Jam Session project, a new service that will allow musicians to schedule and record online sessions with other musicians around the world. Carrie recently reviewed the plans for Jam Session in a meeting with John Cochran, president of an international jazz association and an influential beta tester. John was enthusiastic about the new service and invited Carrie to demonstrate Jam Session at an upcoming convention keynote. He also asked Carrie to follow up on the status of a request to allow users to listen to recorded auditions before setting up their jam sessions. Before accepting the invitation to demonstrate Jam Session, Carrie needs to understand the current status of the project. Carrie selects the Jam Session project and drills down for more information. She reviews the contents of the release plan and release burn down and notes healthy progress. She can see that customer confidence has increased with each iteration. Cost and schedule are coming in below targets, and risk has reduced over time. This level of transparency enables Carrie to make fact-based decisions based on actual project data. Carrie wants the development team to give higher priority to John Cochran's enhancement request. From her dashboard, she navigates to a list of recent enhancements to see the status of John's request. The request has been submitted, but is still in the product backlog. Carrie adds a comment to the enhancement request that informs Phil Johnson of her recent conversation with John. She asks him to include John's enhancement in a release before the convention demo. With easy access to correlated real-time project status from multiple sources, Carrie is confident that Jam Session will be ready in time for the convention. The time she used to spend tracking down and validating status is now devoted to driving the key initiatives that can differentiate Jazz Revolution in the marketplace. As a business analyst and the product owner of Jam Session, Phil Johnson's mission is to transform good ideas into actionable project requirements. Phil brings up his dashboard and reads Carrie's comment in a list of recent changes. He reviews the Jam audition requirement to make sure it's ready to be prioritized for the next iteration. From his personalized workspace, he can easily access any enhancement request, business process model, use case, sketch, or storyboard related to John's request, and revisit previous versions as needed. Phil brings up the most recent storyboard to review it in further detail. He explores comments from a recent review. He sees that, with a few minor changes, the Jam audition requirement has been approved and is ready to be incorporated into the release. By providing a multi-dimensional view of requirements, Phil facilitates consensus more quickly, reduces the likelihood of rework, and helps the team focus on delivering customer value. Phil accesses the product backlog and reprioritizes Jam Audition by placing it near the top of the list. This gives the feature a greater likelihood of being included in an upcoming release. He sends a comment to Carmen, the team lead, to make sure her team includes the enhancement in the next iteration milestone. As the project progresses, Phil continues to monitor his dashboard to see which requirements have been completed and tested. With the rational solution, Phil can efficiently achieve stakeholder consensus and trace requirements through multiple iterations. This helps the entire team focus on delivering the requirements that matter most to customers. As the team lead, Carmen Suarez juggles time, cost, and resources to deliver projects on time and budget. She collaborates with the other team members to successfully plan and execute a series of iteration milestones. Carmen reviews her team's performance on the iteration that is just finishing up. She sees that the team is doing a good job maintaining stability and making consistent progress against scope from iteration to iteration. Carmen sees Phil's comment about including John's request as part of the next milestone release. She opens the product backlog and sees that Phil has already prioritized John's enhancement request near the top of the list. Before planning the next iteration, Carmen reviews the velocity trend from previous iterations. She notices that the team seems to deliver about 20 story points per iteration, and that the variation from iteration to iteration has decreased over time. This indicates an improvement in predictability and coincides with a rise in customer satisfaction experienced by Jazz Revolution since their adoption of the rational solution. Carmen holds a team meeting to plan the next iteration. They pull the highest priority items from the product backlog to the iteration plan. They stop when they reach 20 story points based on Carmen's previous assessment of team velocity. As the project progresses, Carmen continues to monitor her task board to see which tasks have been completed and what work is falling behind. With access to both real-time views and historical trends of builds, streams, work items, event feeds, and other artifacts, Carmen steers her project with confidence and agility. As a developer, Ray Mitchell's mission is to craft elegant software solutions as efficiently as possible. Ray joins Carmen and the rest of the team in the meeting to plan the upcoming iteration. Ray reviews the list of unassigned plan items and selects the ones he wants to work on. He breaks down each plan item into multiple tasks and estimates the worst case, best case, and expected effort for each task. Ray has never worked with audio recordings before, nor has anyone else on his team, so he gives himself plenty of cushion on his worst-case estimate. He instantly sees that this will put the team at risk of missing the iteration end date. To reduce the risk, he searches for a reusable asset that records audio sessions. He finds a highly rated recording asset. However, it only records in MP3 format. To determine whether additional formats are needed, Ray navigates to the original requirement. He quickly discovers that MP3 format will be sufficient for the initial release. With easy access to team documents, questions that used to impede progress for hours or days can now be answered in minutes. Ray revises his worst-case estimate and observes a reduction in risk on the schedule. Confident that his work won't jeopardize the team's ability to execute, Ray is ready to move on. Understanding and responding to risk is a key factor for helping the team achieve its targets. Ray's ability to own his own estimates and account for the risk inherent in those estimates improves the predictability of the project overall. Ray starts working on his first task. He finishes the coding for the enhancement and performs a personal build to verify that his changes won't break the team build. He runs some unit tests and then delivers his work to the rest of the team, which automatically initiates a team build. Satisfied that the build is stable, Ray records actuals, closes his task, and indicates that the enhancement is resolved and ready to be tested. The rational solution supports Ray by providing him with easy access to file versions and other information relevant to the task at hand. It also makes it easy for him to adhere to team practices and follow an approved process. As the team approaches the release date, additional controls will be applied to ensure stability. This phase-sensitive governance allows the team to balance their desire for innovation with their need for predictability. As test lead for Jazz Revolution Interactive Services, Sarah Calder helps ensure that online services meet established criteria for usability, functionality, performance, and security. In the past, Sarah felt isolated from the rest of the team. Now, with the help of the Rational solution, she is an integral part of a high-performance team. Sarah brings up her dashboard and notices several items that indicate a need for additional testing. A new team build has been delivered, an enhancement request has been marked ready for testing, and requirements test coverage is no longer at 100%. She drills down to see the new requirements that need to be tested. Sarah generates a new test case to validate the enhancement. She further defines the test case by making decisions about scheduling, ownership, and execution. Sarah creates a test script to exercise the new functionality. She then reserves a test machine, provisions it with the right build, and records and executes the automated test script. Within the context of her workspace, Sarah has access to everything she needs to plan and perform her testing, including details on requirements, plan items, builds, and even test environments. The time she used to waste manually determining test coverage, creating test cases, and provisioning test environments is now devoted to actually testing software. When Sarah tries to run her test script on a test machine configured with a different browser, the script execution fails. Sarah logs a blocking defect against the build. The defect is automatically routed to the team lead, Carmen, via her dashboard and email. This real-time notification allows the team lead to assign the defect to the best available resource. She assigns it to Ray, who quickly identifies the problem, fixes it, and delivers the fix in the next team build. The delivery of the fix automatically triggers the provisioning and execution of Sarah's test. This time it passes, so Sarah promotes the test execution results and indicates that the enhancement request is ready to ship. The end-to-end automation of the software lifecycle, from defect identification to resolution, frees the team to focus on high-value activities and removes the burden of inefficient and often poorly executed handoffs. Sarah and Phil review the overall quality and coverage status of the jam session requirements on their respective dashboards. With the convention a month away, the team has once again delivered on expectations with a well-planned and executed solution.